Hey guys, we're on 817, which is again surface area, but today I'm actually pushing you guys a little bit. We're focusing on cones and pyramids. Your objective is that students will be able to apply the formulas to find the surface area of cones and pyramids. So we're going to do one, you're going to copy the formula, we're going to do a model example and the same thing, then you're going to do some practice, okay? Let's go on the first part. So the first formula that you're going to copy is the surface area of a cone. So given this picture here, you know that h is your height, r is your radius, and s is the slanted height. Now, be careful. The slanted height and the height are totally two different things. The height are normally, think of altitude, it's perpendicular. Slanted heights are kind of like the one that's diagonal. With that said, your formula, surface area, it's going to be pi r s, the slanted height, plus pi r squared. Now with these questions, sometimes they're a little tricky. They will not give you a slanted height. They will give you the actual height. And because your height are always perpendicular, it will create a 90-degree angle, which is right here. And then in order to get the slanted height, you would have to do Pythagorean theorem. So h squared plus r squared is equal to s squared. And this is if the s is not given. So be careful, there is a big difference between slanted height and actual height. Now pause the video, copy the formula, please. Now that you had a chance to copy, let's go ahead and look at our first example. Now I know it's a little dull to read, so I'm going to tell you the numbers. This is actually 15. I apologize for this, and this is 18. Now it says find the surface area rounded to the nearest hundredths, 2 decimal. So surface area, if you're like me, I always like to write the formula in the top just to know I can know what variables I'm working with. So the slanted height is 18. Now 15 is the diameter. So the diameter is 15. If I take half of this, I get 7.5, which is my radius. Now let's go ahead here and substitute everything. Surface area is equal to pi times 7.5 times the slanted height, which is 18, plus pi 7.5 square, right? I just literally substituted here. I'm going to plug everything in my calculator and I'm rounding to the nearest hundred, so my final answer is 600.83 meters square. Final answer. Right? Be careful with this part. This is a big misconception. Some students are just plugging in the 15. You actually need the radius, which is half of it. Alrighty. We are also going to focus on the surface area for the pyramid. Now the pyramid, most of you had some struggle. We did this, I believe, 2 weeks ago on a Friday. The surface area formula is A plus half of PS. Now what are those? The surface area is the area of the base, the bottom, plus half of the perimeter times the slanted height again. So again, these two go hand in hand because they both deal with the slanted height. And if it's not given to you and the height will always make 90 degrees where we have to use Pythagorean theorem. So pause the video now, copy what the variable mean, because this is a little tricky one. Excellent. So let's do an example. So as I am about to write the formula here, we are going to write the formula that you just copied into your notebook just so that you have it and we know what variable I'm working on. So we're going to come here. Surface area is equal to the area of the base plus half the perimeter of the base and the slanted height. Now, here's your base. Your base is the bottom, right? So the area of that guy would be 20 times 20 plus half. So if you know that this is a shape where the sides are 20 and 20, it's a square, right? So that means this will be 20, this would be 20. So 20, 40, 60, 80. So P is 80. And the slanted height is 16.4. So I'm going to come on this corner and just write it. P is equal to 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20, which is 80. Now this number I just want to touch on a little bit. The 13 and this was given to you. Now when this is here, it cuts it kind of like in half. So this piece here would be 10. So if you know that you have a little triangle that looks like this, and this is your slanted height, that's what you need. This is 13 and this is 10. This is where, when I was talking about Pythagorean theorem in the cone example, you would do something like 10 square plus 13 square equals s square, and that's where the 16.4 came from. So even though they are like kind of straightforward, you gotta be able to, you know, identify this and be able to apply Pythagorean theorem to get these. Now plug all of this in your calculator and you should get 1056 even meters square. And that's how the formula works. So, you know, be mindful, pay some extra attention to this. When you are going to go and complete the worksheet, I want you to pay extra attention, take your time, don't rush it through, because I actually recycle some different cylinders, some rectangular prism and stuff in there, some spheres, just so you can get some practice. Alrighty? Be safe, guys. Have a great day.